At 88, Max Baer Jr. finally drops the truth about Irene Ryan. Born as Maximilian Adalbert Baer Jr. on December 4, 1937, in the lively city of Oakland, California, Max came into a world already buzzing with fame and expectation. His father, Max Baer Sr., wasn't just any boxer. He was the world heavyweight champion of 1934, known for his brutal power and unforgettable win against Primo Pinera. But being the son of a boxing legend wasn't all glamour and cheers. Max Sr.'s massive reputation cast a long shadow over his son, shaping Max Jr.'s world from the start. The senior Bear's bold personality and larger-than-life presence made the family name shine bright, but also heavy with pressure.
See, that's one of their see, instead of a Z or E.
Yeah,
you
what?
Know, people spell their names differently. They're spelling my name P-A-L-A now.
Well, they spell my name correct.
Do they?
Yes. Jack, J-A-C-K-S, A-S-S, Jackass. It's an easy name to remember. Not a problem.
Luckily, Max's mother, Mary Ellen Sullivan, brought calm to the chaos. She kept their home grounded in strong values like education, discipline, and heart. Even as a kid, Max Jr. lived under public eyes, but refused to let the spotlight define him. He carved his own way, proving himself both in the classroom and on the field. When he attended Christian Brothers High School in Sacramento, a place famous for strict academics and tough sports programs, Max didn't just blend in, he dominated. He showed insane talent, earning varsity letters in 4 different sports at once. That kind of drive and hustle set him apart early on. And believe it or not, one of his first big achievements came from his smooth swing on the golf course, proof that Max Baer Jr. was born to stand out no matter what arena he stepped into.
What do you keep looking for?
Make sure when they're looking at my stuff, they don't just kind of think it's free.
What are you doing, standing in her line?
Yeah.
Are you standing in her line?
Yeah, but I'm looking.
Wait a minute, with who are you standing there with?
I'm standing behind me.
She doesn't even know.
Max Baer Jr. wasn't just a casual golfer, he dominated the greens. He won the Sacramento Open Junior Golf Tournament not once, but twice. That kind of back-to-back victory proved he wasn't just talented, he was a natural-born winner. His success on the golf course hinted at the kind of life he'd go on to live, one that blended creativity, business smarts, and athletic flair in a way few could ever pull off. After high school, Max kept pushing forward, chasing both knowledge and ambition. He enrolled at Santa Clara University, one of California's top Jesuit schools, where he majored in business administration. But Max wasn't satisfied with just learning how to make money. He also wanted to understand people and life itself. So he picked up a minor in philosophy, diving deep into the questions of purpose, ethics, and human nature. What a combo!
Holy shoot. You know what, might get another one. I have to squeeze this in so I can just throw this trash in. Because I can't put Junior on there on the edge. I don't have enough room.
Can I get another one?
Get another one of those.
Get the sticker.
Huh?
That mix of brains and curiosity turned out to be a game-changer later in his career. When Max made the big move from acting into producing, directing, and even real estate, those lessons in business and philosophy helped him think big and act bigger. He wasn't just playing roles, he was building an empire. But before the fame and fortune, there was a young Max stepping onto a stage far from home. Back in 1949, he made his stage debut in England at the Blackpool Pavilion, performing in Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Imagine that, the son of a heavyweight champ taking his first shot at acting in front of a live audience overseas. That moment sparked something powerful in him, a love for storytelling that would later define his Hollywood journey. Then came the real takeoff. In the 1960s, Max Baer Jr. fully broke into the acting world, becoming a familiar face on both TV and the big screen. After signing with Warner Brothers, one of the biggest studios around, Max started stacking up roles in hit shows like Maverick 1960 and Surfside 6. Each appearance pushed him closer to stardom, and soon everyone would know his name. From 1960 to 1962, Max Baer Jr. was everywhere on TV. He jumped between hit shows like Cheyenne 1960-61, Hawaiian Eye 1960-61, 77 Sunset Strip 1960-61, Bronco 1960-61, Sugarfoot 1961, and Follow the Sun 1962, plus a spot in It's a Man's World 1962. That lineup reads like a greatest hits list of early television, and Max was right in the middle of it all. Each appearance sharpened his acting skills and gave him a front-row seat to the wild, fast-paced world of classic American TV production. But despite all those gigs, one role would change his life forever: Jethro Bodine on the Beverly Hillbillies. When the show hit CBS in 1962, Max stepped into the boots of the goofy, well-meaning cousin of Jed Clampett's family, and boom, a star was born. Jethro's over-the-top innocence and lovable cluelessness became a defining part of American pop culture, and Max's performance nailed it. People couldn't get enough of him. For nearly a decade, from 1962 to 1971, Max Baer Jr. owned that role. He brought life and humor to every episode, capturing the heart of what made the Beverly Hillbillies so iconic, that hilarious clash between backwoods country life and high society Beverly Hills living. Viewers adored Jethro, but the fame came with a twist. Max found himself stuck in the shadow of the character he made famous. Even at the height of his Hillbillies fame, Max didn't slow down. He kept hustling, appearing in other hit shows like Love American Style, 1969 to 1974, and Vacation Playhouse, 1969 to 1974. He even hit the big screen as Sergeant Luther Lisco in the 1967 war film A Time for Killing. Still, Hollywood couldn't seem to see him as anyone but Jethro, a frustrating fate that many iconic TV stars know too well. Recognizing that trap, Max started planning his next move, and it was about to take him far beyond the Beverly Hills mansion. After years in front of the camera, Max flipped the script, literally. He turned his focus to producing, directing, and screenwriting, determined to take full creative control and show Hollywood what he was really made of. In 1974, Max made his powerful debut as both producer and writer in the Southern crime drama Macon County Line, where he also starred as Deputy Reed Morgan. The movie was gritty, tense, and shocking, and it blew up at the box office. Critics praised its raw storytelling and emotional punch, proving Max wasn't just an actor, he was a serious filmmaker with vision. Riding high on that success, Max went all in. The very next year, in 1975, he produced, wrote, and directed The Wild McCullochs, a dramatic family film where he also played Culver Robinson. This project showed just how versatile he was, moving between acting, directing, and writing like it was nothing. Max wasn't just reinventing himself, he was building a whole new career on his own terms. Then came his biggest triumph, Ode to Billy Joe. Inspired by the haunting hit song, Max directed and produced the film, and it became a major box office success. Audiences couldn't get enough of it. That movie sealed his reputation as a filmmaker who knew how to turn emotion and music into cinematic gold. By the time he wrapped his final directorial project, Hometown USA 1979, Max had already proven himself as one of the rare TV stars who made a real mark behind the camera, too. But Max didn't stop at film. His business instincts kicked in strong. He dove into real estate and even the casino industry, chasing bold new dreams. His big idea? To build a Beverly Hillbillies empire. The plan included a themed resort called Jethro's Beverly Hills Mansion and a chain of casinos inspired by the Clampett family's world. It was nostalgic, wild, and ambitious, exactly the kind of move you'd expect from a man who refused to stay boxed in by Hollywood's limits. Max Baer Jr. wasn't done making big moves. He reportedly locked down deals to secure the rights to use names, likenesses, and other material from the Beverly Hillbillies, all so he could turn the beloved TV classic into a full-blown entertainment empire. He dreamed of transforming the show's nostalgic charm into a real-world business powerhouse, building everything from themed resorts to casinos that would let fans step right into the Clampett's world. That's the kind of bold, no-limits thinking that made Max more than just a TV star. It made him a visionary. But while his business hustle was impressive, his personal life often became just as talked about. As the son of the legendary boxing champ Max Baer Sr. and a household name himself, Max couldn't escape the spotlight, even when it came to love. Though he tried to keep his private life quiet, some of his relationships over the years made their way into the public eye, painting a more personal picture of the man behind the fame. Back in 1966, Max married Joanne Kathleen Hill, right at the height of his Beverly Hillbillies fame. At that time, his portrayal of Jethro Bodine had made him one of the most recognizable faces in America. But with that fame came pressure. Long filming hours, constant travel, and the weight of public attention all started to strain their relationship. Fame can be a blessing and a curse, and for Max and Joanne, the spotlight proved to be too intense. After 5 years of marriage, the couple officially divorced in 1971, marking a major turning point in Max's life. The breakup hit during a time when he was also trying to reinvent himself professionally, breaking free from the shadow of his most famous role. That period tested him, but it also pushed Max Baer Jr. to evolve, both as a man and as an artist, ready to step into new chapters of life with grit and determination. Max Baer Jr. never tied the knot again, but his name kept popping up in the headlines thanks to a string of high-profile romances. One of his most talked-about relationships was with Victoria Principal, the stunning actress, author, and entrepreneur who rose to fame on the hit show Dallas. Their relationship instantly became a hot topic, two stars at the top of their game, both with massive followings and strong personalities. The media couldn't get enough of them, and every public appearance sparked new buzz. Max was also said to have been involved with model Cher Rhodes, which only fueled his reputation as a man who gravitated toward glamour and beautiful company. During that era, Max's personal life seemed just as fascinating to fans as his Hollywood career, always surrounded by charm, fame, and intrigue. But years later, one of those relationships came back into the spotlight for a much darker reason. In 2005, Victoria Principal publicly claimed that Max had assaulted her during their time together, a serious accusation that reignited media attention decades after his Beverly Hillbillies fame. The story shocked the public and cast a sudden shadow over the once beloved actor, sparking heated conversations about what really happened between them. Max strongly denied the allegations, standing firm that the claims were completely false. No criminal conviction ever followed, and Max repeatedly stated that he never behaved in such a way. Despite his denial, the controversy kept his name circulating through Hollywood gossip circles, reminding everyone how fame can turn private relationships into public storms. For Max Baer Jr., this episode became a harsh reminder of how complicated life in the spotlight can be, where memories clash, stories shift, and one's public image can change in an instant. It stood in sharp contrast to the light-hearted, comedic charm he brought to screens as Jethro Bodine, proof that behind every Hollywood smile, there's often a story far more complex than the world ever sees. That wave of controversy only pushed Max Baer Jr. further into privacy. Over time, he began stepping away from Hollywood's flashing lights and constant noise, shifting his energy toward business ventures, smart investments, and a quieter life outside the entertainment grind. He wasn't chasing fame anymore. He was building a legacy on his own terms. Now, at 88 years old, Max has reached that stage in life where reflection comes easier than restraint. He's lived through fame, fortune, heartbreak, and reinvention, and now he's speaking out more honestly than ever before. To generations of fans, he'll always be Jethro Bodine, the goofy yet lovable country boy from the Beverly Hillbillies. But behind that character is a man who spent decades trying to balance the glory and the weight that came with it. These days, when Max looks back, there's one person he talks about with unexpected depth: Irene Ryan, the powerhouse actress who played Granny Clampett. While the world adored her as the sweet, fiery grandmother who ruled the Clampett mansion with a shotgun and sass, Max says the real Irene Ryan was a whole different story. She was sharp, demanding, and tougher than almost anyone I've ever known, he revealed, describing the woman who helped shape his early acting years. When Max first met her, he was still a nervous young actor, stepping into a world of seasoned Hollywood veterans, and Irene didn't go easy on him. By then, she was already a showbiz survivor, a veteran of vaudeville, radio, and film, carrying herself with the unshakable confidence of someone who had seen it all: the highs, the heartbreaks, and everything in between. She didn't tolerate nonsense, and she definitely didn't fake kindness for the cameras. Max admits that at first, Irene Ryan intimidated him completely, but that intensity would later earn his lifelong respect. "I was young, and she could see right through me," Max Baer Jr. confessed, remembering those early days on set. "She knew when you were acting and when you were faking it." Irene Ryan had a radar for authenticity, and there was no fooling her. But instead of breaking him down, she built him up. Max credits her with teaching him priceless lessons about professionalism, discipline, and survival in a cutthroat Hollywood world that didn't forgive mistakes. Irene didn't tolerate laziness, not for a second. She expected precision, preparation, and total respect for the craft. She didn't believe in shortcuts, Max said firmly. If you showed up unprepared, she'd let you know. But if you took the work seriously, she'd respect you for life. That was her way: tough love mixed with an unwavering passion for doing things right. Despite her no-nonsense reputation, Max insists that off-camera there was a completely different side to Irene Ryan, one most people never got to see. When the lights were down, she could be incredibly warm, he recalled. She had a dry, wicked sense of humor that would catch you off guard. Max laughed as he remembered how she'd sit quietly and then drop wild stories about her vaudeville days, tales so outrageous they'd make your hair stand on end. Irene had lived through it all: personal struggles, failed marriages, and money troubles long before the Beverly Hillbillies brought her the fame she truly deserved. Because of that, she never took success for granted. She knew it could disappear in an instant, and that humility made her stand out in an industry full of egos. As for those long-standing rumors about tension on set, Max didn't shy away from the truth. Yes, there were moments, he admitted. Anytime you've got strong personalities together, sparks are going to fly. Irene was fiercely protective of her role and the spirit of the show. She understood something deep: that Granny wasn't just comic relief, she was the heart and backbone of the Clampett family. Max admits now that in the beginning he completely underestimated her instincts, but eventually he learned that Irene Ryan wasn't just acting tough, she was tough. "She was almost always right. I didn't realize that later," Max Baer Jr. admitted with a mix of regret and admiration. Over the years, his respect for Irene Ryan's resilience only grew deeper. "She worked until the very end," he said softly. "Even when her health began to fail, Irene refused to slow down. She believed the audience deserved your best, no matter how you felt, and she lived by that code until her last day." When Irene Ryan passed away in 1971, not long after the Beverly Hillbillies came to an end, Max felt it as a personal loss, not just of a co-star, but of an entire era. It felt like the end of something bigger than just a show, he shared. The laughter, the family energy, the long hours on set, it all faded with her passing, leaving behind a silence that hit hard. Looking back now, Max speaks about Irene not with bitterness, but with clarity and gratitude. Irene Ryan helped make me who I am as an actor, he said proudly. She challenged me, scared me, and taught me. He knows that while history has been kind to her memory, it doesn't always capture the strength and grit it took for her to become the legend she was. People remember the laughter, but they forget the power behind it, the fight it took to make it happen. At 88 years old, Max has no time for Hollywood myths or glossy nostalgia. He doesn't sugarcoat it. The truth is, Irene Ryan was a survivor. She earned every single laugh she ever got. In finally sharing his truth, Max Baer Jr. pays tribute not just to a beloved co-star, but to a woman whose toughness and talent shaped an entire generation of television comedy. And through it all, Max held on to another lasting connection, his deep friendship with Buddy Ebsen, who played Jed Clampett. Their bond went far beyond the cameras. It was built on genuine affection, mutual respect, and years of shared memories from one of TV's most iconic shows. To Max, Buddy wasn't just a co-star. He was a mentor, a steady guide, and a true friend whose wisdom left a permanent mark on both his career and his heart. That unbreakable bond between Max Baer Jr. and his Beverly Hillbillies family lasted all the way to the end. In a deeply touching moment, Max, alongside Donna Douglas, visited Buddy Ebsen in the hospital shortly before his passing. They sat with him, offering warmth, laughter, and comfort during his final days. When Buddy Ebsen passed away from pneumonia on July 6, 2003, the world didn't just lose a TV legend. Max lost a dear friend, a mentor, and a man who had shaped so much of his journey in Hollywood. Years later, when Donna Douglas passed away in 2015, another piece of television history quietly slipped away. For Max, it was another heavy blow, a reminder that time had claimed nearly everyone who shared that special era with him. Her passing left him as the last surviving main cast member of the Beverly Hillbillies. That realization was both an honor and a heartbreak, the proud title of being the show's living legacy, but also the lonely weight of carrying all those memories alone. Now, at 88, Max Baer Jr. stands as the final bridge to a time when television felt simple, pure, and full of heart. He represents an era defined by genuine laughter, iconic characters, and stories that brought families together around living room TVs across America. Decades later, the Clampetts still live on in reruns, fan memories, and timeless nostalgia, proof that the Beverly Hillbillies will never truly fade away. And as Max looks back on those golden years, his story reminds us of what Hollywood used to be: human, heartfelt, and unforgettable. If you enjoyed hearing the untold truth about Max Baer Jr. and his Beverly Hillbillies legacy, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and drop a comment below. Tell us your favorite Jethro moment, and keep the memory of classic TV alive.